Hey, MathKook here. This video contains one of many examples in my Algebra 2 library. The rest of those examples, along with hundreds of other videos, are only available at mathkook.com. Let's MathKook it up. Hey Kooks, this question says James invested a total of $22,000 in two accounts, one giving 8% and the other 3%. The total interest received was $1,060. How much was invested at each rate? So this is an interest problem with two different accounts. The best way to approach this problem is to set up a chart. So let's go ahead and do that. So here's our chart. On the left we have our 8% account and our 3% account. And we have on the top here the percentage times the amount of money invested is going to equal the interest earned from that account. All right, so let's start filling in our chart. The percentage is pretty easy because in the 8% account, you're going to get 8%. Now, what's 8% as a decimal? It is 0.08. Same thing for the 3% account. You will get 0.03. Next, the amount of money invested in the 8% account. Well, we don't know that. And we also don't know the amount of money invested in the 3% account. So let's define some variables. We'll say X is the money invested at 8%, and then Y is the money invested at 3%. So we can go ahead and put these in our chart here. Next, do we have the total amount of money invested? Yes, we do. It says at the beginning of the problem, James invested a total of $22,000. So we could put that here as the total amount invested. Next, to find the interest, you just multiply the percent times the money invested. So if the interest for the first block here is 0.08 times X. So we have 0.08 times X. For the 3% account, we do the same thing. We multiply across 0.03 times Y. And then the total interest received is here. And the total interest received, they tell us, was $1,060. So we can put that here. All right, so now we have to set up our equations. We have two variables, so we're going to need two equations to solve. So our first equation is going to be the money invested. So we're going to add X plus Y, and that's going to equal the total money invested. So we'll write that equation. So X plus Y equals 22,000. Next, the other equation is pretty similar. The interest. So the interest from the first investment plus the interest from the second investment is going to equal the total interest. So we're going to add 0.08x plus 0.03y equals $1,060. All right, so you can solve this equation by either using substitution or elimination. I'm going to go ahead and use elimination. Either way works great, but since everything's already lined up and they're both in standard form, I'm going to go ahead and use elimination. Now, if I want to cancel out the y's, what should I multiply the top equation by? Well, the bottom equation has 0.03y, so we want the coefficient in front of y to be negative 0.03. So we're going to multiply the top equation by negative 0.03. Okay, next we'll distribute that to all these terms here and then rewrite it. Okay, so I will go ahead and do that on top here. So negative 0.03x, negative 0.03y equals, and then we have negative 0.03 times 22,000, which gives us negative 660. All right, then we just rewrite the bottom equation here right below. So let's go ahead and do that. So 0.08x all right, so this is the fun part. We get to cancel and then add. So on the left here, the the y's cancel, which is nice. So now we're left with x's. So we add negative 0.03x plus 0.08x, which gives us 0.05x equals, and then on the right side, negative 660 plus 1060, and that gives us a nice round number of 400. All right, we're almost there. We just divide now both sides by 0.05 to isolate x. And then on the left side, the 0.05s cancel out. We're left with x equals, we have 400 divided by 0.05, which gives us $8,000. So this tells us that there was $8,000 invested at 8%. So I'm going to go here and say at 8%. So that is one of our answers. Now we have to find what y is. To find y, I'm going to plug it back in. So plug in 8,000 for x back into the original equation. This one seems to be a little simpler. The x plus y equals 22,000. So let's plug it back into there. So we're going to plug in, I'll write in blue here, 8,000 in for x plus y equals 22,000. Next, we're going to subtract 8,000 to both sides. And when we do that, we get y equals 14,000. So that tells us there was $14,000 invested at 3%. So James invested $8,000 at 8%, and he invested $14,000 at 3%. Hey Kook, if you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment. For unlimited access to all of my Algebra 2 videos, visit mathkook.com. Thanks for watching.